Howdy, howdy, y'all. Chapter 3 of Maharaj's I Am That, The Living Present. I I love this book. I really love this book. I can't get enough of it. I really want to try uploading more frequently. Just life and whatnot. So hopefully I get a chance to do more uploads more frequently because I really am loving this book. So, anyways, yeah, to get to it, in this chapter, he's Maharaj is talking. Really, he talks about how, like, the thing of it seems like the biggest. This is a good. This part right here is a good understanding, I think, of what he's talking about in relation to the past, present, and future, which is really the big idea of what behind this chapter. Thus, the name, the living present. Um. So, anyways, he this is a part where I think is very important. Um, Surely the memory of an event cannot pass for the event itself, nor can the anticipation. There is something exceptional, unique about the present event, which the previous or the coming do not have. There is a livingness about it, an actuality. It stands out as if illuminated. There is the stamp of reality on the actual, which the past and future do not have. So essentially saying, yeah, like what's really true, like about what's different about the present versus the future and past, is the fact that you are living in it. Which sounds kind of like, okay, duh. But I mean, there's consequences to that, There's this deep, you know, the fact that you are that and you are in the present. You're not in the past, you're not in the future, you're here now. And so, yeah, it kind of makes sense with the previous chapters and whatnot. The logic of why, yeah, that logic of why, what makes the present different. But the logic makes it, I think, adds a depth to it than, otherwise he would just be like, yeah, yeah, of course I'm just here, whatever. But like, yeah, but there's more to it than just what you are not really. I mean, as we talked about previously in the other chapters. Another part I really like too. Is he talks about the universe in a way that's very interesting. Well, actually, a couple of things. First, they talk about joy and pain and how they, like in relation to each other. Like, oh, is joy is like I think the questioner is like, oh well, like went very pessimistic and was saying like like joy is just breaks in like the pain and blah blah blah, and Maharaj said no, well, pain is just a like breaks in joy. Like they switched it around. It's very interesting. Um, yeah, and another part I really like too is at the end. He talks about the universe may be complete as a whole, but incomplete in details. That's what the questioner says. And Maharaj says a part of the whole seen in relation to the whole is also complete. Only when in isolation it becomes deficient and thus a seat of pain. What makes for isolation? And the questioner is like, well, limitations of the mind, of course. The mind cannot see the whole for the part, which is fair, right? Like it's really hard, for us to do that as human beings. It really is when you think about it. Like, oof, yeah, like really can't. Like, and he says, good enough. This is what my writer says. Good enough. The mind, by its very nature, divides and opposes. Can there be some other mind which unites and harmonizes, which sees the whole and the part as totally related to the whole? The question is the other mind. Where to look for it? You know, the other mind, yeah, which is like, well, what do you mean by other mind? I just like it, and yeah, he just goes into detail. And going beyond the limiting and dividing and opposing mind, and ending the mental processes as we know it, when this comes to an end, that mind is born. So he says, yeah, there is actually you can achieve beyond that. This our current mindset, and yeah, and of course at the end, I think why like he's like the questioner asks, between the spirit and the body, is it love that provides the bridge? Well, I like Maharaj's answer to this. He says, what else? Mind creates the abyss, the heart crosses it. And I love that. I love that. The mind creates the abyss, the heart crosses it. That's like one of my new favorite quotes. I mean, I love it. Anyways, I think that's about enough. Like I say, I don't want to try to be too detail oriented, just because I want to, let you all have your chance to read the book if you haven't. And if you have, tell me what you think in the comments below. All right, see y'all. Peace.